now let's take it to the luxury home market now. Tell us the definition now, Chris, because I think this is interesting. What is categorized in our eyes, or the industry's eyes, as a luxury home?
Well, it's what the top 10% of the market is. So if we took all 53,087 of those, we'd have to look at the most expensive 5,308.7 of them.
So if I'm listening to you correctly, and I live on the coolest lake lot out there, and I'm living in a shed, I could technically be based on values, be in a luxury home.
Yeah, it's all single families in the 13 county area. That was through the MLS.
Okay.
So, and that's kind of what we're going on. There is some other stuff that doesn't go on the MLS. There's some new construction homes that people don't put on the MLS that could be more than that. But last year, for instance, the most expensive house sold that was on the MLS was $5 million. The most expensive. Now there's 3 of them right now. The top 3 houses currently, there's one for $24 million. There's another one for $22 million, and another one for $11,900,000.
In Minnesota.
All in Orono.
Wow.
Yeah, every one of them is in Orono. So some pretty nice little shacks, you know. And when we're talking about luxury homes and probably over that $1 million, there's 2 things that typically categorize them, and it's usually lakeshore or some acreage.
Right.
That you get those. Now there's pockets, obviously. You see a lot of them in Edina. But for the most point, that's what you're getting. It's kind of more estates and or lakeshore. But so if we're talking about the top 10%, and I kind of did some figuring this past week on it, but it looks like it's about the bottom of the top 10% is about $438,000.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's 438 to 5 million is that top 10%. But that's interesting to me, because I think people think that the luxury home market is all about those, you know, that $5 million home, and not about, you know, the $500,000 home. And that's what the top 10%.
Well, I think it's interesting too to categorize housing. And you know, when we talk about a luxury home market, why do we decide to put it into that box? You know, I think that it comes down to what you said. It's setting expectations for sellers and for buyers. You know, kind of when they say I'm looking for a luxury home or I'm looking to sell my luxury home. Chris, what do you see as from an agent's perspective? What do you see that market? What do they really need, or what do they desire the most with an agent in that price range?
Well, for sure that's someone that has knowledge in that arena and that communicates with them. There was a study done with those clients, and their biggest thing was communication. And you know, it's kind of like it's a now world, you know. And with technology, you look at it, and there's a thing called affluence. That's household incomes that's over $100,000. There's 62.5 million households out there that do have that. And then when you go up to the next level, which is 500,000, those people, well, let me step back. That the people that have that 100,000, their average house is 408,000, and people that make over $500,000, their average house is $1,080,000. Which is, I think that's pretty interesting. And the other part is that I think is kind of neat is those people that make over 100,000, they spend 41.5 hours a week on the internet, okay, or online, which it seems like a lot, but I think I mean, we're constantly on it, you know. And people making over $500,000, they spend almost 53 hours a week online.